And we are live. Jeff and Jeff Talk Tech. This is volume 5. Um,
Yes.
Before we get started here, I want to apologize. We had some technical issues last week. We weren't able to do the broadcast, so we're going to attempt. We may attempt in vain here. We are going to. We are going to give it the good old college try to get everybody caught up. What we deem the more interesting things of the last week. So.
Right.
We got a kind of a packed show, so we're just going. What do you think, Jeff? We'll just jump right into it here.
Let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about the future. Let's talk about outer space. What do you think?
I don't know why. I don't know why that hand gesture was important, but it,
You can't discuss Elon Musk without making that hand gesture. I mean, just you have to do it. So
okay, so we've got this is one of those things that everybody's going to think sounds kind of crazy, but the more you listen to this guy talk, and there's a wrap up here of 5 minutes. This is the SpaceX 5 minutes of Elon Musk, which Elon Musk, if you're not a tech enthusiast like myself and Jeff, you're going to immediately pull up Elon Musk and you're going to go, this guy is a giant nerd. This guy is even more nerdy than Jeff and Jeff combined. This is Jeff and Jeff to the what's a good Elon Musk ism to the factor of this is Jeff and Jeff
SpaceX.
right.
10 Teslas.
Yes, exactly. So basically what SpaceX is it's a privately owned company that for the most part they've just been shooting satellites into space. That's how they've been funding themselves. But the whole reason why he's been shooting said satellites into space is so he can fund his Mars colony to make us basically to end result being to make us an interplanetary species, so to make human beings interplanetary. And this kind of course, I watched the whole hour and a half keynote of how he plans to do this. And the amazing thing is the takeaway to all this is it's really not difficult for us to go to Mars, and it's really going to happen very, very quickly.
Right. Yep.
So that's the takeaway. And it basically the bottom line is when you go through this Elon Musk keynote, you're going to see A, it's possible, B, it's happening quickly, and C, the technology kind of already exists. And there's the detail about there is there's certain things about going to Mars that kind of make it unique. It's not like going to the moon in the 60s when we did that, and how we just kind of shot somebody there. But this is Elon kind of goes into detail about how there's a 18-month launch window. So in other words, the plan from SpaceX is to gather all the stuff up in space and then launch on that 18-month space window. There's going to be cargo. There's going to be people going there. There's going to be people going there permanently. There's some certain critical things, certain critical assets that you have to kind of address, and one of them is the people that want to go as opposed to the people that can afford to go. And right now, obviously you can't go to Mars for an unlimited amount of money. So, for an infinite amount of money, you can't take the trip to Mars, unfortunately. But what he's looking at doing is getting it down below $200,000 would give you the ability to go to Mars.
Right. So let me give you the numbers. What he's saying is that when his program starts, he'll be able to send 12 astronauts at $10 billion per astronaut at the beginning. But he said once he starts to break this down and he gets equivalent to 1 million people there, then it will cost $200,000 per person. That may seem like a lot, but I mean, come on, $200,000 per person to go all the way to Mars.
Right.
That is
Right.
insane.
Right, exactly. We're talking about for the initial stages, we're talking about a 6-month journey to the red planet, and then eventually he wants to get it down to right around, 3 months, 2 months eventually, and then from there, I would assume that the time would just get shorter and shorter. What's amazing is really the rockets, and how it is. I think at one point Elon didn't think that it would be possible to go to the red planet, but now it's obviously, I wouldn't say it's easy. It's going to be difficult, but this is something that's coming in like the next 10 years.
There is a viable plan, and that's crazy to think about. It's not just a pipe dream. I mean, this is a dream. I mean, it's not real right this second, but there is a viable step-by-step plan on making this happen. So that's awesome.
And not only is it going to happen in that, people are going to be up on Mars. You think of like I always think of like Total Recall, that crap with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which wasn't very true, but not only are there going to be people on Mars, but there's going to be a self-sustaining colony. And what I mean by self-sustaining is you're providing your own food, you're providing your own electric, you're providing your own environment there, and it's sustaining itself where human beings can care for themselves and not need anything off Earth as a whole.
Right.
They're going to do this, right? And that's awesome. That in our lifetime we're going to see a Mars colony, a self-sustaining Mars colony.
That's awesome.
That's in the show notes, there's a real good 6-minute rundown of the Elon Musk keynote, the SpaceX keynote, and I kind of implore people, if you can get over the social awkwardness of Elon Musk, he has a lot of brilliant speeches on the YouTubes. So you can get pretty addicted to just hearing this guy talk about, because he's so freakishly intelligent.
You can go down the Musk hole.
Right. Yeah, you can take the blue pill and go down the Musk hole.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it's really cool. He, the guy may go down in history as one of those people that's really going to change the future and or steer the future. Definitely a visionary. So, something that I wanted to bring up that I found fascinating over the last 2 weeks.
I love that kind of stuff. But speaking of going into things traveling, going out in outer space, let's talk about a phone exploding on an airplane. Jesus Christ. So this is a story that I put in the show notes. As we already know, Samsung phones were exploding, the Note 7s. Unfortunately, it is still one of the best phones on the market that you can buy and have in your hands today. There may be another phone that is better, but it's not, you can't get it in your hands today. But we'll talk about that in a later article. But yeah, the Note 7 is an awesome, awesome phone, except for the exploding part. So Samsung recalled the phones, and they came out with new ones. Okay, so awesome. I got my new phone. I'm going on a plane. This is what this guy thought. He gets on the plane. He shuts off the phone. Now the stewardess and everybody said, turn off your phone because you have a Samsung Note 7. He didn't. He could have fought it and said, hey, I have a replacement one. But he said, no, I'm going to turn it off anyway. He turns it off, and sure enough, this one starts to catch fire as well. And he threw it on the floor, and it caught the plane carpet on fire, burnt a hole in it, and they evacuated the plane. Nobody was hurt, but goddamn Samsung.
So now what are we doing? We're inspiring terrorists to come up with to carry Samsung phones.
Oh yeah, that's how we're gonna blow up this bad boy. Yeah, man, that sucks, man.
Well, there was a blurb that my girlfriend's actually traveling from the Dominican Republic to the United States around Christmas.
Okay.
and I think I might have shared this with you. I can't remember if I did or I didn't, but right on her ticket it says, if you are a carrier of the Samsung Galaxy Note, we strongly urge you to not carry this phone in your travels. Basically, the airline was basically saying, if you have a Note 4 or Note 5 or whatever, if you have the new Note, you can't get on the plane. Sorry about your luck, but you got to get something else,
Right.
to, get a, they didn't suggest a brand, but
Wait, they didn't get you an iPhone.
right,
But
yeah,
it was pretty much implied, obviously.
it was pretty much implied, they yeah.
If you have a Note 7, we will beat you up and kick you off the plane.
Right, exactly, because that just can't happen. Yeah, so
we will have NSA sitting next to you on this. Yes.
Right.
But anyway,
So-
so to the article, man, it's horrible that I kept bragging about, if you get a replacement, it should work. A buddy at my job had the original, never returned it, and then got the replacement, still has it and loves it. So
again, this is something that could happen to any phone manufacturer. It sucks for
Exactly.
Samsung just
Yeah.
because they have washing machines that are blowing up as well, or something. So this could have happened to any phone manufacturer.
okay,
Just
all
so
right.
happened that it.
Jeff, you're the CEO of Samsung. At this point, what do you do?
Scrap the line.
Amen, brother.
Scrap the Note 4.
Amen, brother.
Scrap the Note 4. Rebuild it. Give it
Rebuild
a year.
Give it a
Give
year.
it a year and relaunch it. Yep.
Note 7. Scrap the Note 7.
Yeah, and possibly call it something other than the Note.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and I was thinking the same thing this morning. I was in the shower. I'm like, man, what would I do if I was Samsung, man? And what they should do, I personally think, is scrap the Note 7. It's gone. Make a few changes to it, just very cosmetic. Put some wings on it or something like that, and fix the issue, obviously, number one. And then put some wings on
Right.
it and call it the Note 7S and release it tomorrow. Say, we get rid of the Note 7.
Right.
Note 7 don't exist no more. In actual reality, this new phone is the Note 7 with just some stuff on it, but don't tell the consumers that. And come up with the Note 7S and call it a day. Tomorrow.
I feel like the Note brand has been so impacted by blowing up at this point that they would be, call it something else. At this point, call it the Jot or call it a terrible name.
Oh, the whole entire Note brand. Holy
Yeah, I would say rebrand it. Call it something else. Call it the I don't know what, but come up with a new name and relaunch
Okay.
it.
See, that's why if I was a CEO, I need you in the boardroom. So,
Yeah.
so what we're gonna do then? All right, this is what we're doing. We're Samsung. Okay. All right. What's something in what is Samsung? A Taiwanese company? I mean, where are they
They
from?
are China.
China. So give me something in Chinese to say. How do you say hello in Chinese? I don't know.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa, everybody.
No, that's Japanese.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Ni
Now you got-
hao. Ni hao.
Ni hao. Ni hao. There we
Yeah.
go. See? Yeah, see, that's why you're my cultural expert. And that's why you're part of the board. That's why you're on my board. Okay, so
This is all coming together.
this is I knew it. I knew I should become CEO of Samsung. All right, so this is what we do. All right, we're gonna relaunch the Note 7, rebrand it. We're gonna fix the issue number one and test the hell out of it, and we're gonna do a new line. It's gonna be our Note line, but let's give it a new name. And I would even keep the Note name sort of. I mean, call it Note Extreme or the SN7 Plus or something. I will keep my almost Note, so people who are familiar with the Note a little bit, who still love it, still can feel it. But for those who aren't, we're far away from it. So I'll go right in the middle there. And then, yeah, and then what I would do is, this is what I would hope, all right, follow me down this rabbit hole. I would test this phone so much that it'll be the best battery phone ever. And then I would market it as such. I would market it as the number one safest phone on the planet, safer than an iPhone, safer than all these other phones possible. I wouldn't even market it as that if it was guaranteed not to explode. I mean, I wouldn't market it like that if my engineers didn't get the tech right. But
yeah, I mean, if you're Samsung at this point, do you obviously they're going to take a loss because of this explosion thing, but did they
already lost a couple of almost $1 billion, I think.
Yeah. So do they take where the development is on the Note 8 and launch that now and then worry about those concerns? I mean, basically they probably just got to keep their exact same product cycle moving the exact same way that it is. But what I suggest is at this point you've got to do a rename, a rebrand. You've got to get that ugliness that was the Note 7, and now that consumers have locked that into their brain as being the Note explodes, and they've got to come out with a whole new. It may not be an entirely new phone, a new phone model line, but they've got to brand it as such that the consumers believe that it is. You know, it's similar to what happened, you know, with the iPhone 4, and the antenna gate. You know, it was almost like a lot of consumers, and myself included, skipped that line of phone.
Yeah.
Because it was just such an ugly problem. You know, nobody wanted a phone that was going to drop every third call, when the networks really weren't that great at the time to support the drop. And so,
right.
It's going to be a slippery slope. Is this, and this kind of leads us right into our next thing to talk about. Here is a perfect time for, I don't want to say a new player, but for somebody to do something a little different.
Correct. Yeah.
And I know you watched this. I know you probably watched this keynote and live casted it to your office.
Right.
But we had another really exciting keynote. And keep in mind, this is about a week old now because we missed last week's podcast. But from the same token, we got the Google Pixel. Google Pixel?
Yes. The Pixel.
Yes. Pixel.
Right.
Yep.
Pixel and Pixel XL.
Now, this isn't a crappy. Now, I want to make this distinction very clear. This is not a crappy video game movie with Adam Sandler in it.
Only on Netflix. Yeah.
Right. That's only on Netflix. Right. So this is a phone.
Right.
And there were a couple things. I guess kind of go back. There were a couple things launched on the event. There was a media streaming device, an audio media streaming device, a Amazon Alexa, Amazon Echo /Echo competitor from Google, and then the big thing, which was the white elephant in the room, was the phone in two sizes. Because that seems to be the most important thing to do. You give people two sizes of phone because nobody can have just one.
Not just one.
You know,
can't have this one.
Right. So there were a lot of takeaways from this, and and here's what it is. This is a Google manufactured phone. This is an entirely Google manufactured phone. So we've had the Nexus devices, which have been manufactured by other manufacturers and released with a pure Google experience, right?
Right.
This is manufactured both by Google and sent out with that pure Google experience. So just Android running, no manufacturer crapware. And they have kind of a couple little software touches that make it unique, and then some obviously some fine tuning on the hardware to work synergistically with the software, So this is potentially huge if you're an Android guy.
Oh right? Yeah, I am an Android guy, and this is huge. So there you go. There you go.
Mine too.
So, man, this is awesome. I'm so glad that they're doing their own hardware. They want to do the Apple thing, their own in-house research and development, their own devices. I mean, they're going so far as to say all the products that they announced, they made a whole special website for it. It's called Made by Google. And so they want to make stuff by Google, you know, and that is so awesome. I'm proud of them for that situation. The only thing that sucks about this is the damn price of the freaking phone. I mean, I know every phone costs the same. So I put a screenshot of me ordering the phone. I didn't get it, but my checkout after taxes, after everything I wanted, $830.
Yeah, that's not bad if you got a couple kids, you know what I mean? I would say if you had, what do you got, 3 kids?
Yeah, I have 3
if
kids.
If you had 4 daughters, I would say that's completely unacceptable to spend $800 on your phone.
Right.
But since you got 3, you know, you can get that by.
You
your wife, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. She's gonna be okay with that. Yeah. No.
There you go, right there. See that there? $830.52. You guys see that? Can they see that?
Yeah, they can see that. They can see that. Well done. Yeah, that's basically the same thing that happened to me. And here's the major ouch. Here's the major ouch of the Pixel phone. And that is it's expensive. It's expensive, right?
Yeah, but what phone isn't, right?
Right. We've got and this isn't even up to debate. Here's what we've got about this phone that we love. 15-minute charging gets you 12 hours of battery life. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Best in the industry, best in class. Best in class battery life and best in class charging speed. Best in class camera and software. So they basically took the amount of pixels that Apple's using. They basically took the image clarity, they took the sensor, and they made it better than what Apple's doing. So for the 15 minutes after this launches, which it hasn't launched yet, for the 15 minutes after this phone launches, this is the best mobile camera in history, right? So you've got a phone camera that is top notch. You've got a processor that is top notch. You've got a battery life experience which is incredible. And let's just put this into perspective. You can charge your phone for 15 minutes and it runs for 10 hours. What does that actually mean? What that actually means is if you plug in your phone accidentally throughout the day, because most people get out of bed and they take their phone off the charger, put it in their pocket, and then they may jump in the car and throw their phone on the charger just because it's part of their dock or whatever, and then or they may plug it in when they're at work because it's part of that dock, and then they throw it in for their commute on the way home. What you're talking about here is not charging your phone anymore, right? Not intentionally charging your phone anymore because you're accidentally going to charge it for 15 minutes throughout 10 hours.
Yeah.
Right? So that's huge. That's huge. That means charging is becoming less of a concern, not because the batteries are lasting longer, but in this case, 10 hours is pretty respectable, but because the rapid charging technology is getting so fast, and the wireless charging is also built in, right? So you're going to have a wireless charging pad probably somewhere in all this mess. So that's huge, in my opinion. The camera thing is huge.
Yep.
What's going on with there's some new assistant on the phone?
Yeah,
it's an exclusive to the device.
So it's not really too exclusive. It works through the whole phone, but it's what they put in Allo. So if you download Allo, you could use iOS or Android. There's a little assistant in there, and if you text things to it, it'll help you type messages, but it'll help you a lot with other things. But in this phone, that technology is built in. So if you're at a certain screen and you you hold the home button and swipe up, you'll get all type of data about the screen. It'll suggest things to you. So let's say you're in another chat messaging thing, and somebody says, "Hey, let's go get Chinese restaurant today." You'd be like, "Okay, give me a second." You swipe, and it'll recommend all the Chinese places near you. Now, you didn't say anything or do anything. All you did was swipe. It read the screen, see you're looking for Chinese places to eat, and recommends a place for you to go. That is sick.
So what you have, and this is something that a lot of companies are going, well, it appears that a lot of companies are going to, or they're talking about going to, they haven't really gone to it yet, but the digital assistant, right?
Right.
You've got Siri, obviously, now. You've got Cortana. You've got Alexa on the Amazon side. You've got Google Now. So you've got these different assistants, right? What Google is trying to do, let's say I'm in a movie theater, you know, and the movie's just starting, but I want to order pizza for 10 o'clock that evening, so that when I finish the movie and I get home, the pizza's already ordered, and I can just go home, turn on the TV, and the pizza's pulling up, right?
Yep.
Well, it used to be if you were sitting in a movie, you would have to, okay, Google, you know, and then the guy behind you's like, shh, come on, man, movie start. This is a digital assistant, an artificial intelligence, which a digital assistant, let's just say digital assistant because it's less scary, but a digital assistant that is, you can talk to directly, you can have a conversation with, you can have a text-based conversation with, you can have, just as if it were Jeff talking to Jeff. You know, I can text you if it's more convenient. I can pick up the phone and call you if I happen to be driving. You know, I can shoot you a quick text if I'm in a movie theater. I can, you know, so you can actually communicate with this thing the way you would communicate with another human being, and that's what I like about this. You know, that's what I like about that. That's what I saw. I saw that, and I was just like, ooh, wow. That's the way it should be.
That's
right?
the way it should be. Yeah, man. The whole phone, all around it, no matter what app you're in, no matter what you're doing, you have access to the assistant at any point. I mean, I can see this getting to the point where you're playing a game and you're stuck on a level. You ask Google Assistant while you're playing the game to help you with that level. And they can actually draw on the screen and show you how to get to the next level and show you where to jump here, do that, and you'll pass this level. And it'll help you. That will be sick.
Yep. And you tie this into, this kind of rolls us into our next thing, the Google Home, which is the Amazon Echo speaker competitor, Bluetooth speaker with the Google Now Assistant, the OK Google Assistant. So you've got a multi-array microphone, which that multi-array just basically means that you can be anywhere in the room, you know, and say, OK, Google, you know, in a normal voice. And as long as that thing is somewhere within range of you, probably in my apartment, because my apartment's so small, it would probably work throughout the majority of the apartment. But those the mic arrays kind of give you kind of a broader scope of where you can be in relation to this thing. It's not like a phone where you have to kind of, okay, Google, you know. But you tie that with this Allo technology that, you know, was a pretty brilliant acquisition by Google. And all of a sudden you've got Google Play, the most recent Elon Musk video on my phone.
Right.
Switch the video from my phone to my TV. You know, and that's you know, dim my lights, Google.
Right.
What's the weather going to be like tomorrow? Do I have anything on my agenda for tomorrow? You know, and having that kind of, and, you know, Google answers you in that kind of real-time, real speech kind of, you know, tying their product lines into this AI or this digital assistant is, I think, brilliant, right?
Yeah. Brilliant.
So,
yeah, it's going to be nice, man. I love the home idea and all that, man. That's going to be so sick. Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention about that was that the video they showed, there was a family, and there was a woman. They were all getting ready for the morning. The kids got to go to school, mother and father, and the daughter and son. They asked, do they have the report due? And they asked when was it due and all stuff like that. Just all of them were talking to it and doing stuff for their day. What's the recipe? Whatever. So they were all doing it all at once. The thing that bothers me or scares me about it is that I have one Google account. How will Google know who's talking to it and deal with, like, my calendar is different than my wife's calendar and different than your calendar, but we all live in the same house sort of deal. Then when I ask what's my next meeting, they say, oh, you have an appointment to go get your nails done. It's like, whoa, wait a minute now. That's not me. But that is the next appointment if we're all sharing the calendar. So how will Google deal with that,
I think that they need to continue to flush out this thinking of voice,
right?
Of voice print.
But it's still awesome technology. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just,
right. It's
I'm the CEO of Samsung, damn it! I got to figure things out.
Right. What I would like to have happen, at least in the intermediate, until they flush out this voice, the voice print idea, is, to have Google say, do you want this on Jeff's calendar or so-and-so's calendar or so-and-so's calendar? You know what I mean? So to at least ask the question, and then you go, oh, Jeff's calendar,
right.
read me my calendar. Well, who are you?
Yeah. Who are you? Jeff. Yeah. Well, see, this is where wearables come into play really well. Because if you have your smartwatch on and you're close to the device, maybe it can say, hey, it must be you talking because you're the closest one to the device.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Just, yeah, there's that whole knowing who you're talking to. That's coming, right? That's gonna happen eventually. But like like our trip to Mars, it's coming, but it's not there yet, right?
Right.
So they just kind of started figuring out fingerprints, and maybe it's a combination of different types of authentication. Maybe it's face print and voice print and fingerprint and all that stuff added together, and then all of a sudden Google knows who it's talking to.
Right. All that stuff added together in a seamless experience. You still have to be seamless.
Right. Because for now, if my watch is in the general range of my phone, I don't have to unlock my phone.
Right. That sort of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
If my computer is in the general range of my phone, I don't have to unlock my phone. So my phone actually has to be away from my watch, away from my home, and then it gets locked up. Yeah. Otherwise, I don't see a password. Right. So there's, as we get these more and more, like you said, these more and more connected devices, I think the authentication and the awareness of who Google's actually talking to is going to get better. So.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't complicate that too much.
Yes.
But yeah.
Anything else in that announcement? They have VR in there. I really don't know much about it. What else did they announce in there? Oh, devices. So they announced a new Chromecast. Right?
Yes, there is a new Chromecast, and I didn't refresh myself on the features of it. So the VR unit itself is, I know it's basically much less expensive than the Oculus.
Yes,
but you've got an $800 phone. That's the heart of it.
That's the heart of it. Yeah.
This is $160 on top of your $800. But Verizon's already talking about. Oh, here's the thing too. Pixel exclusive. Who's got the Pixel?
Who's got the Pixel? Yeah.
Who's got the Pixel subsidized besides Google's Fi, which still hasn't gotten a lot of adoption or really a lot of consumer recognition as far as Google has a cell phone provider, and a lot of people still don't know that. But the main one that has it is the Big Red.
Right. The big red. Big red.
The Big Red. And that is unfortunate because the Big Red happens to be the most expensive cell phone carrier in the country. Hands down, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So we've got an $800 phone on the most expensive carrier.
Network. And just so you can have Daydream, the VR experience.
Right. Daydream, that's what it's called. Yeah.
That's for those who don't know, Google's VR experience is called Daydream. And to use Daydream, you have to have a Daydream-ready phone. And the only existing Daydream-ready phone we have is the Pixel. There will be others in the future, but it's the Pixel.
For right now, yeah. So, and all this technology could completely, hopefully, blow the doors off everything that's existing. You know, I'd love to see it blow the doors off Oculus, which wouldn't be hard, but to blow the doors off what Sony's doing, and to blow the doors off what it's doing.
Right.
As far as VR is concerned, what we need is focus, and we need a really not a really inexpensive, but a good consumer level.
Good.
Yeah. Good point of entry, right, for VR. And Microsoft is just missing the bandwagon completely again.
Well, they're going to skip over this. They're doing that. What is their AR technology? Augmented reality.
Augmented reality. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing something with that, and everybody says it's awesome, but it's not VR. So.
Yeah, it's not. It's awesome, but it's not here yet, which is the recurring theme of Microsoft's life. Awesome, but not here yet.
But not here yet.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So this the Daydream stuff is pretty cool. The only negative review I saw about it was that it is awesome, but HTC Vive or Oculus is just a little bit better as far as quality, lag, everything like that. But this is still passable, usable, and great if you had to use it every day. But the other stuff is just a little bit better, and I think that's a good thing. I think that this is a great entryway for consumers.
Right, and I think maybe the angle of Google's Daydream is in that it's going to support YouTube videos out of the box. So there's going to be some AR YouTube content. So they'll have the YouTube creators hopefully behind them, and Hangouts as well.
Right.
So you'll be able to have a 70, 80-inch screen. What feels like a 70, 80-inch screen in front of you.
Right.
That will tie in nicely with all these other Google properties. Google's power is the fact that they've got, if they're doing video distribution, they've got it. They're doing communication, they've got it. They've got a lot of properties out there. So they, similar to Facebook's kind of technology muscle. And that's something that HTC and Sony can't really compete with, in my opinion. They can't compete with Google in the aspect of we've got Sony doesn't have 1 billion content creators, and Google does. So it could be that even though it's limited as far as realism is concerned, it may still get that adoption, which is what we're looking for from VR. We don't want VR to go the way of the 3D TV dinosaur, which was a whole lot of talk for a lot of years and then just never ended up happening. So, yeah. We'll see. We'll see, man.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So, that's all I got for the week, man. Is there anything, there's all stories I have, but I just was wondering, is there any technology or anything you've been doing technically wise? We had this last episode. Things that we talked about, a game you're playing, anything tech related. Is there anything you have going on?
There is. I was telling you before the show, there's a new version of Ubuntu Linux that I plan on hopefully downloading and installing. I think it's actually launching today. It's called Yakety Yak.
Sweet. Yakety Yak.
Yakety Yak. I can't say it with a straight face, apparently.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the newest version. I think it's 16.10, and it's not something that I haven't looked into the beta and I haven't jumped into it yet. But that's the one thing that I really want to do today. And other than that, not really. Haven't really been playing with anything too phenomenally new this week. How about you, Jake?
Let me think. So the main thing, I reformatted my computer. That was my main big thing this week, and trying to find a way to get all my drivers back and all the software I had back installed. I wish there was an easier way or some sort of list. What I literally did was make a text document of every piece of software I have installed before I format it, and then saved it, formatted it, and then try to re-download everything. But what I can do is I'm running Windows 7. I don't have Windows 10 on this machine, but it's a legitimate copy. I built my computer, and I didn't go out and buy a key for Windows or buy the packaging. What I did was I found this website where you can buy legitimate cheap keys for Windows. It's not illegal or anything like that. I mean, it's all straightforward. I'll put it in the show notes. There's this company that sells game keys for cheap, and also on that site they sell keys for Windows. It's really slick, man. So I'd like to share that with everyone. I bought a key from there, and I'm running a legit Windows.
Very good, very good.
Yep.
Very good. That's always awesome when you can be a little bit closer to legitimate.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing.
I would never promote any type of illegal activity or anything like that. But, I mean, if you guys are interested, first of all, be legit. People work hard on this software, Microsoft, everybody. If you're going to use their thing, be legit. And if this is not legit, please let me know. And I'll erase the whole damn thing and buy a legit copy. But this seems legit to me, so.
Very good. Very good. That's always a good thing. I think that's really all I got.
Sweet.
We made some audio and video tweaks mainly on my end, on my side of things this week. And it turned out good, which is good. Yeah, that's awesome. And we'll just keep improving week by week. It was a fun show. I think we packed a lot of info into it. Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man. We will catch you next week. I know you got an appointment to go to, so we'll let you head out to that, and we will catch everybody a week from today, barring any major technical issues.
So let me ask you, where can people find you if they want
to? For me, Jeff Moses, or Facebook.com/Jeff Moses Jr. Is the best way to reach me. Shoot me a friend request just like everybody else, and we can connect through there. How about yourself, Jay?
Jeff Me Jones, Yahoo, Jesus Christ, because Yahoo's open my screen. Jeff Me Jones at Instagram, Facebook, everything like that, Twitter. But mainly, I've been having a lot of contributors join me over at Firebeat Chat on GitHub. I'm working on the Android chat client, and it's awesome, and people have been helping. And again, you don't have to be a developer to help. If you're a designer, if you just have ideas as far as UI or anything like that, then you can join the open source community. This is a great. Why should you join an open source project? Because the experience that you get under your belt is going to last a lifetime. I mean, how do you use Git and check in and out code and check in and out your graphics and things like that? Working with a team, people on Skype and chatting in your calendar. These are things you do in the corporate world. I'm part of the corporate world of this sort of thing. And these are the things that you do. These skills will translate to real dollars, real money, serious money. So, I like to say, join us, man. Have some fun with Firebeat Chat with us.
Awesome. Good stuff. And as always, like and subscribe on this video if you'd like to directly support us. And you can directly support us by watching next week. With that, I hope everyone has an awesome football Sunday. And I hope you do as well, Jeff. And we will catch you guys next week.
Peace.